Good morning. It is AM Tampa Bay, bringing ataraxy to your assiduous mornings. And joining us right now is the former mayor of the city of Clearwater, who would like to be your mayor once again, and that would be Frank Hibbard. And Frank, thanks for joining us here in the studio this morning on AM Tampa Bay. What do you think the most important thing that would be facing you as mayor, and I would think your favorite at this point by a long shot, but what do you think the most important thing that would be facing you right now as mayor? And by the way, we do not have a strong mayor government like you do in St. Pete and Tampa, so the city manager pretty well runs things, but you obviously will make a lot of big decisions. What's the biggest thing you think is facing you right now?
Well, Jack, Aaron, thank you for having me this morning. Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah to everybody. We do not have a strong mayor form of government. We had a referendum last year that was going to convert our form of government, and the citizens defeated that. So I'm accustomed to the form of government. I think I acted like a strong mayor in many ways, was very regionally oriented. But we have a lot of issues in the city, just as everybody else does. Infrastructure, making sure our housing stock gets reinvested in, creating jobs. Traffic is one of the big issues throughout the entire region, and certainly is to Clearwater and Clearwater Beach.
Yeah, definitely. Clearwater Beach, too. People tend to forget. You think downtown's Clearwater, but you got to think Clearwater Beach, and there's so much excitement about the potential and things that could be happening on the waterfront on the Clearwater side, and the potential for these gondolas and things like that. And again, there's just so much potential.
There is a lot of potential. We're looking for alternative ways to get people to the beach. We do have a ferry currently that goes from downtown to the beach, which makes it really easy for a lot of our visitors. But our tourism industry is booming. You know, Clearwater Beach is really our economic engine.
Yeah.
Frank, a lot of people are wondering what the next mayor of Clearwater is going to do about Scientology. It's grown. It's a big part of the Clearwater area, and that relationship, at times can be, a little tense.
It is. It's an unusual variable that Clearwater has. And I just sent out questionnaires to citizens, and it is the number one topic that comes back on how to deal.
I'm not surprised.
Of course not. And it's the number one question I always get when I'm talking to citizens is, how are you going to deal with it? There are several ways. The city has to make certain that they're going to make an investment in downtown. We've already had successes in the downtown with the Capitol Theater. It's the number 2 theater of its size in the United States, behind a theater in Washington, D.C. And if you ever go there, it's just a dynamite venue to see performances.
It's been a while since I've been there, but it's an incredible place.
Come on over, Jack. Ruth Eckerd Hall runs it. It's a great venue.
Yeah, it is that. And to me, it's just what's going to be happening on the waterfront in the future. The changes that are coming that are going to be fantastic. Not to mention what's been happening on Clearwater Beach.
So imagine Clearwater as the big project in downtown and Coachman Park.
Yeah. And
it would include play areas for kids, walking trails, and also an amphitheater for outdoor concerts.
Oh, yeah. And I've been involved in outside shows there at Coachman Park way back, but it's getting better and better even. And it was pretty darn nice back then. So,
well, it's a beautiful piece of property on the bluff. The Harborview Center, which really needed to go, has now been demolished. That's open space. I think that opens up an opportunity. City Hall has been moved to a building further into downtown, so that property is available for development.
Real quick, What's the one thing, the major thing you could take from your first, experience as mayor of Clearwater and use that now in what would be 2020?
Well, I lived through the Great Recession, so I think we all have scar tissue from that to an extent.
That's a good way to put it.
One of the things that I think you have to remember is you need to have a rainy day fund. You need to build reserves because you never know when it's going to rain again. And so I want our government to be prepared for that. Don't want to see the type of cutbacks in personnel that we had back in 08 and 09. They were pretty severe. We weren't cutting fat. We were cutting into muscle and bone at that point. And I think it's important that we have continuity. So that's something that, certainly I've learned from being in office, but you just learn from experience. Experience is a great teacher.
Well, Clearwater Beach named in some surveys as the best in America, and Clearwater is keeping up with it all. And Frank Hibbard, want to thank you for joining us on AM Tampa Bay, and best of luck.
Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate the time. God bless.
There you go. It's 7:30 on AM Tampa Bay.